Everyone, Aisha with Fox 61 here with a preview on the story that I am working on. So if you've been paying attention to the newscast, just recently, as of yesterday, news broke that New England Patriots wide receiver Antonio Brown, he's right now facing a civil lawsuit that's accusing him of rape. So as you know, Brown signed with the Patriots just recently, and today, we are trying to gather as much information as we can with the civil lawsuit, but I'm also sitting down with a local attorney. His name is Eric Hard, and he's just giving us a perspective on some potentials here. What can the NFL do about this? How this will affect Brown's contract, if at all? How long an investigation can take for a civil lawsuit, and especially explaining the difference between a criminal lawsuit versus a civil lawsuit. So I'm going to flip the camera right now and face it towards Eric, and you're just going to look over here at me. So first of all, those that are watching on Facebook right now who don't understand what's going on, if you don't mind just explaining, I see that you have the lawsuit here right in front of you.
Yes, there's a young woman who acted as a trainer for Antonio Brown, who alleges that in 2017 and in 2018 that he sexually assaulted her, including rape. That is a federal lawsuit that's been filed in Florida.
Okay. And we talked about this on camera, but just to give viewers just an idea, the difference between criminal versus civil when dealing with a case like this.
Right. In a criminal case, a prosecutor has to make a determination that a case is provable beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a very high burden of proof on the part of the state. That has not occurred here. Instead, this is a civil suit that's been brought by the alleged victim herself, and it seeks money damages. It has a lower burden of proof. It's just more likely than not is the standard, about 51% likely a jury can find or a judge can determine liability.
And earlier today, we heard from the coach during a news conference he was doing, and when he was asked about Brown, he pretty much just said, we just have to wait and see how the details play out here, that the NFL will do a thorough investigation. From your expertise, what would you say is the next step when something like this is brought to a player?
Two things. In Belichick's camp, if he thinks that Brown is ready and that he's sufficiently mentally disciplined to do his job on Sunday, he's going to play him. If he thinks that he isn't, he won't play him. He's not going to have anything to do with this new allegation. Okay. In terms of the Patriots and what they can do with Antonio Brown, pretty much every team has a morality-type clause in their contract that they could invoke if they want to take him off the field. It's hard to envision them wanting to do that from a competitive standpoint, but from the optics, you never know. Also, Roger Goodell has the power to place this guy on what's called the exempt list. And what that means is that Antonio Brown would be paid, but he would not be allowed to practice and he would not be allowed to play for the team. And there's supposed to be some sort of investigation before a player is placed on the exempt list, but the investigation itself could be fairly abbreviated. I know it's supposed to commence today, if I'm not mistaken.
And as far as Brown goes, this is an accusation, so we have due process. How, I guess from his end, what can he do at this point? Him and his agent is expected to speak at 2 p.m. today.
Look, if we have learned anything over the last few years in this country as a whole, it almost doesn't matter what people accuse you of. You can fling so much mud back in their direction that everyone is puzzled and confused and nobody knows what to believe. I have no doubt that he's going to come up with some sort of defense along the lines of, she's already been trying to get money out of me, this is what she's doing because I wouldn't give her money. Things of this nature are quite common retorts for a claim of this nature. Part of the problem that he has in terms of optics is that he is known to be an unstable person. He has most recently caused so much trouble at a team that he had just signed with a handful of months ago that he finally was let go by Gruden, who's a quite serious coach and who was going to play him. And then he demanded on social media to be released, and they released him. And of course, the Patriots opportunistically, as always, snapped him up. He's got a problem with insisting on wearing a certain helmet. He's got a problem with he came with a foot injury because of some crazy cryogenic procedure he had. There's just never-ending problems with this guy. However, the Patriots, from their standpoint, do have a history of rehabilitating problem players, Randy Moss being a prime example. In 2007, Randy Moss led the Patriots to an undefeated season that was only ended by a rather improbable victory by the New York Giants that year.
All right. Thank you so much. We have a lot more questions that we did not get in with this Facebook Live, and I will have that full story for you coming up later on in our newscast. But for those of you that are just joining this Facebook Live, we are talking about the civil lawsuit that was filed against New England Patriots wide receiver Antonio Brown. We'll have a lot more details. Earlier today, we did hear from the coach. He had a quick statement as far as Brown's case goes, and then we are also anticipating to hear from Brown's agent at 2 p.m., and I'll have all that wrapped up for you coming up in our 4 and 5 o'clock newscast, as well as I've been talking to folks around the area just on their opinion on Brown being on the Patriots and with all that happened with Oakland, and if they think he's a good addition to the team and things of that nature. So again, Aisha Mbowe here with Fox 61 News, just giving you all a preview of the story I'm working on. So make sure you tune in today at 4 and 5 p.m.